Okay, who wants to come up next? How about you, dude? Pop up. Let's do it.
Yeah.
What are you all about? Tell us a little story.
Jeez, my God, where does it fucking begin? I have grown up in a world that doesn't seem to know or appreciate what I actually stand for. I'm one of these people, call it healer, shaman, or some sort of fucking wizard. I mean, that's what I wanted to do at 17, a rock star or a fucking sorcerer. That's it. And I actually followed that plan for many, many years. So here I stand before you going like, how the fuck do I serve this society? I want to do good things with my life, and I want to come up as a better healer and eater and entrepreneur and serve you and serve whoever that I'm meant to serve. We've got this kind of routine, this industrialized way of being that's been handed to us. Take yourself out of the game and you realize how you've been conditioned. You've only ever been to your story of the earth. You've only ever been to your concept of the earth. Let me tell you, there's much more here. There's much more vastness available to you, and I want you to tap into it. I want you to break down what you're holding on to, and realize that that is altering your vision and conditioning your behavior and your actions.
So by the way, do you think he's pretty good? Yeah. Right, it's pretty good. Like, again, I love, yeah, good, great job. By the way, sorry, what's your name?
Wes.
Wes, good to meet you, man. What you have is something that I struggle with too. What I had a tendency previously to do when I was up here, or even on like stage at the vaunted karaoke bar, I would kind of have a tendency to move around like randomly on the stage. Like do these fucking like weird like gestures and shit that kind of had no purpose. And so, again, my singing teacher, this lady, her name's Susan. She's like 75 years old. She's like a sweet old lady. She's mostly deals with opera singers, so I'm quite a unique customer for her, a student for her. But she's like, Jeff, I notice you move around a lot. So again, like let's say that you're selling something on stage, or you're doing a public speech, and you're trying to sell something. Like it kind of lends itself to this feeling that you almost don't believe yourself. You know, it's like nervous energy. It goes back to what? Any superfluous tension that's not directly contributing to the performance itself is robbing it of energy. So these like random moves, like basically it's leaking power. Does that make sense? Yeah. So again, my singing teacher, she told me, we're gonna do an exercise. I want you to sing, and I want you to just not move at all. Like as a pure exercise, stand completely still, make no gestures, sing the fucking song. So I sang it, and I believe I sang My Way by Frank Sinatra. And so I was like, and now the end is near, da, 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 da. And so I'm singing it completely still, and I could feel the impulse to move around and make the movements, but I didn't do it. Except at the very end, I was like, the record shows I slapped the hose and did it my way. And I did like that. And she's like, that was very good, Jeff. I noticed it was a lot more power. And in the part where you slapped the hose, it was, she's like 75. She's like, it was very intentional, and it had purpose, and that gave it power. And I was like, thanks, Susan. That's so anyway. So long story short, let's do the same exercise. Okay. So kind of say almost the same thing. You know, it doesn't have to be the same thing. It'd be something else. Okay. But this time, resist the impulse to like leak the energy through the movements. Okay, and let's see what that does.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between this and having you had another student really get into their body and move?
Well, because that guy was tense. You're not tense. Okay. So again, and by the way, here's an interesting thing. He's like, well, you said not to be tense, but now you're saying it's too loose, right? So again, there's many such seeming opposites in life, in communication. Like let's say you're trying to approach someone at the bar. There's like, do I go direct? Do I go indirect? Do I go high energy? Do I go low energy? Do I go playful or serious? The answer is both at the same time, right? So whenever you're faced with like a seeming set of opposites like this, you want to think of it as a spectrum, not this or that, because look, let's face it, that is the conditioning of society, dualistic thinking. It's A or B. I mean, that's our educational system, right or wrong, on or off, black or white, right or left. So you got to take it to a different level, like a higher level of thinking in order to solve this problem. Because the problem of A or B, it's not what we call a convergent problem. What's a convergent problem? Where there's a clear answer. 2 + 2 = 4. It's a divergent problem where depending on who you ask and what the situation is, the answers could vary wildly. You know, let's take direct or indirect. taken to both extremes, they're fucking useless. What's extreme direct? Yo, what that mouth do? If you roll up on some young woman and say, yo, what that mouth do? It's not likely to have a good reaction, okay? I mean, who knows, good. But there's more diplomatic ways to approach this, let's just say. So that's number one. On the other hand, complete inertia, where you just stand there and be like, so what do you do? Where do you live? Do you like it? Like, that's not gonna do shit either, right? So, however, you see there's many people who deal with this sort of like paradox with a minimum of intellectual effort. When it's time to be fucking direct, they're direct. When it's time to back off and be more chill, they're chill. Sometimes over the course of the same sentence, that can change multiple times because they're not looking at it as a this or this. It's a continuum along which any choice could be made. But the question is, can you do it? So for example, if all you can do is sit there and say, what's your name? Ask boring fucking questions, that fucking sucks. But if you can do other things, if you could do anything, then you can sit there and ask the boring fucking question and still have it work. Like I can go up and do that. I can go up and be like, so where do you live? I can ask boring questions like that and have it work because they can tell this guy's making a proactive decision to be more chilled out. And at any moment he could be like, sure you can, and bust out some crazy shit. Like they can sense it's below the surface. Remember, individual choices gain power in direct proportion to the larger field of choice potential surrounding them. Write that down. It's a long-winded situation. but the more you can do, you don't have to do it. Like from a state of rest, you can exude power. Like if I'm sitting next to LeBron James here or like Mikhail Baryshnikov, they're going to be exuding more power from their state of rest because they can do more. They have a greater range of kinesthetic choice surrounding it. So point being, that's kind of the idea. It's like it's not this or that. It's both. So let's just for a pure exercise, let's try it and resist any impulse to move around at all.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, first things first, I want to promise to you that I'm not going to come on your face. I know that's a second thing is, one of the things that I've been reminded about, it's a fascinating number. I think a psychologist did a study on this about communication. Did you know that only 7% of your communication
is hold up. No, not even hand gestures.
Okay.
It's like a statue, except for the words coming out of your mouth.
Right. So, here we go. Holding back that energy. I want to spread it all over you, but I'm taking it back in. So, 7% of your communication is just the words. And notice how we all get caught up on, am I saying the right pickup lines? Am I saying the correct words in the correct order to win her over or gain the prize or become the man and stand up and be everything that society told me to be? But here we are, just containing the energy, holding it in, knowing our worth, not fucking around with our worth, knowing how to play again, knowing that this is a fucking game and that we put our asses out on the field to play that game. Play it well by fucking up as much as possible, putting ourselves out there next on the line because at the end of the day, you're stiff now, you're gonna be fucking stiff in about 6 feet under soon enough. So what the fuck you do?
Give that man an Oscar.
Give that man an Oscar. But by the way, so let me just ask you this. Would you say essentially the delivery was the same? The actual verbal delivery, pretty much the same. But the fact that he's not moving around, it just lends it a bit more gravitas. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's less like, well, hey guys, it's just like, da-da-da-da-da, and it's just boom. So again, you want to have the ability to do that. Right. Doesn't mean you have to do that, but you have the ability to do it. So it just gives every move a lot more intentionality or purposeful. It lends more weight to the individual movements when they just aren't all willy-nilly. So just something to think about. All right, thanks, Wes.
Cheers, man.
Thanks. Cool. The awkward fist bump, yeah. Sure. Well, that's interesting because a lot of times you associate certain states with certain types of communication. So, for example, very often when I'll ask someone to speak in a higher pitch, what will also happen is they'll start to speak more quickly because they associate higher pitch with faster speech, right? Like, I'm going to talk like this because I'm speaking in a high-pitched voice. But can you talk quickly in a low voice as well? Because, again, there's certain states that are sort of inherently kind of, or at least psychologically intertwined with one another. So that's why in my mentoring, for example, we'll do things like put an angry expression with a soft sort of sensual gesture to really explore all of the sort of interplay between those, what we call tension entanglements between all of those states. Because look, what we're trying to do with this kind of stuff, number one, like I said, it's diagnostic, because you're trying to see where the inhibitions are, so then you can pinpoint them and start to, do focused efforts to release them. And again, remember, when you're trying to release these tensions, remember, at one point they protected you. At one point the tensions helped you. Protected you from what? The judgment of the group, humiliation, putting your neck out, the tall poppy gets cut, and there's an element to that. But if you want to get extraordinary results, you have to do things that ordinary people don't. If you want to talk to the fucking cashier at Walgreens, that doesn't require special technique of communication. If you want to sell and close sales, if you want to do public speaking, if you want to get romantic with someone you just met in a relatively short time frame, these are not things that normal people do on an everyday, regular basis. These are the types of things that require technique, skill, precision, control. So you need to familiarize yourself with the techniques involved, yes, but you also need to expand your palette, because look, if you want to get better social skills, there's 4 concepts you need to understand and act upon. Number 1, what are the goals you want? Right? What are the goals you want? Well, I want X, Y, Z, and they should be measurable, quantifiable, not like, I want to feel more expressive. Oh, cool, bro. Or do you want, I want X result, I want X more clients, I want to date this kind of person, whatever it is. Number 2, you have to come to a clear-eyed understanding of how what you're doing now won't get you there. Right? Okay, there's going to be additional demands put upon my communication system to get these results. What I'm doing now will not get me there. I need to do this, this, and this. It might be speak louder, it might be more expressive, it might be less self-judgment, whatever. Number 3, understand how your conditioning is preventing you from doing that. If I can't do this shit, why not? If I can't talk loud, why not? What's preventing me? Well, I have these various cultural and social conditionings. Number 4, okay, great. Well, what do I do with that? Now you've got to develop some sort of methodical exercise process that's going to allow you to chip those away one by one. So you're not just going to get fucking louder and more expressive overnight because you now intellectually understand it would be beneficial for you to do so. It took decades to install these things. It's not going to happen overnight. So you got to, but again, it starts with awareness, without shame, without guilt. I fucking suck. These inhibitions are somehow an inherent part of my being. It's no, it's the human condition. Everyone has it to one degree or another. Some people are vastly more affected, others less so, but you gotta let it go. And like that fucking shit, Marie Kondo, cleaning your house, the joy of cleaning house or whatever, you gotta be thank you for your service, and let it go. Thank it for its service, because it did help you at one point, but you're yo, I don't need you anymore. Thank you, you helped me, go away, right? Don't need you anymore. And that's where it starts.
The course has been life-changing. Life-changing is the word. I feel like communicating is the key to life, right? With this kind of stuff, you can become a master. You could become a top echelon speaker, communicator. One of the awesomest experiences of my life. And I've been rebuilding this awesome, cool new relationship with my family. And I am very thankful for this program.